G'day, folks. It's Dean here, your passive income coach, and today I am here to showcase for you our Bitcoin passive income strategy. My goal is really just to showcase to people different passive income streams and, help them create some additional passive income outside of their traditional day-to-day working life, so you can actually put that towards some debt reduction, maybe build some long-term wealth, whatever you want to do with it. But I certainly believe now is such a great opportunity in our marketplace, with the internet and the way technology is changing. There's some real opportunities for everyday people to make some money online, doing small hours at home, and creating something for themselves. So today we're all about the Bitcoin phenomenon that is sweeping the world at the moment. And I'm going to share with you some stuff on how I'm making some Bitcoin today. So let's get this started. I am going to share my screen. There we go. And let's start this slideshow. All right, today I'm going to chat about Bitcoin, and in particular a company that we've come across called USI. And USI is the trading platform that I utilize to make a little bit of money. So USI actually stands for United Software Intelligence. Okay, and I'm going to share with you what they are, how Bitcoin works, and then how we can make some money out of that. You can see the disclaimer there. Obviously, proof of payment is no guaranteed you will earn the same amount of money that I am earning, or that any future earnings are the same as any previous earnings. But it is possible to earn and learn while you go, and hopefully what you see today will be of interest to you. Okay, so this is USI Tech's sort of motto, and that's when vision and perfection come together, great things can happen, and a new dimension in direct marketing occurs. Now, I've been involved with the direct selling industry for quite a while. I love the direct selling industry as a part-time business that you can grow whilst you're working full-time. And there's certainly plenty of opportunities out there. And the direct selling industry has a massive, broad spectrum of products and services that can be available depending on really what floats your boat. So for me, my history has always been that I've always found the concept of direct selling to be really, really great, to build teams and to help coach, train, and mentor other people to achieve their goals. But one of the challenges, there was a couple of challenges that you always face in the direct selling industry. One is the mindset of the people that you're dealing with. That's always a challenge, no matter what industry you work with. But two, you generally have a product that you need to sell. And so you've got to sell your product or service. You've obviously got to believe in your product or service and then sell it to other people. But in order to make real significant money, what you need to do also is to build a team. So you need to surround yourself with followers and other business owners that want to create the same sort of destination that you've created. And so, you've got to, continue to search through, people to start surrounding yourself with those people that have the same sort of vision and create a team. And then from there, you can actually start earning some income. So what I love about USI Tech is they really flip that on its head. And you can, basically for the first time, start earning a passive income without actually building a team. You don't need to be involved in direct selling to do this. You don't need to sell any packages or information or products to anybody else. You can immediately, from day one, the moment you start putting your money in, you'll immediately the next day receive passive income. Okay, and that to me is simply fantastic. It's revolutionizing the direct selling industry, and I don't know any other company that's allowing you to draw an income immediately within 24 hours. So let's have a bit of a look at it. So let's start with what is Bitcoin. Let's move this out of the way. You don't need to see my face during this. Actually, I know most of the pictures on this side. So Bitcoin has been around since 2009. Okay, so it's a cryptocurrency. Basically, the crypto is based on cryptography or encryption. And it's a digital currency in which the encryption techniques are used to regulate the generation of the unit of currency. Okay, so Bitcoin is a unit of currency. Okay, and it's operated without any bank or government control. Okay, it's managed by what we call a peer-to-peer network. So the hundreds of millions of people around the world that utilize Bitcoin, they record everybody's transactions. Okay, and they're the ones that maintain the data and the history of Bitcoin. Okay, rather than a government or a centralized agency. So the couple of key words there: we are decentralized, we are distributed to a peer-to-peer network, and that's what makes Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market so simply phenomenal. Now, as I said, it started in 2008. A paper was released on the power of what cryptocurrency could bring to the digital age by a guy by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. And in 2009, 30 January 2009, the first Bitcoin was mined. We're going to cover what that actually means shortly. Was mined, and since then, it's been on a slow growth. So back in 2009, a Bitcoin was worth around about half of 1 cent. Okay, very, very tiny, and you needed a lot of Bitcoin to do anything with it. And here's an example. A year later, in May 2010, a guy by the name of Laszlo made the first real-world transaction by buying 2 pizzas in Jacksonville, Florida for 10,000 Bitcoin. Now, if you've never heard of Bitcoin before, you'd be surprised to know that today, Bitcoin is worth around about $5,500 per Bitcoin Australian. Okay, so that's around about $55 million is the equivalent of 10,000 Bitcoin. I'll tell you what, that is 2 very expensive pizzas. A guy named Kosh bought 5,000 Bitcoins in 2009 for just $27. Okay, and that's now worth over $5 million. So basically, we've gone from this half a cent currency to something today that's worth $5,500. And we're going to have a bit of a chat. Why do we think it's going to go to $20,000 per coin, possibly $40,000 per coin in the near future? Potentially, certainly in our lifetime, in the next 10 years, 15 years, could potentially go to $500,000 to $1 million per Bitcoin. So just want you to let that sink in for a second. If you had the opportunity today to buy 1 Bitcoin for $5,500, stuck it in a digital safe, and waited 5 years, 10 years, and that coin became worth $500,000 or even $1 million, is this an industry that you should be taking note of? Just saying. All right. So 5,000, you don't even have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can actually buy a percentage of a Bitcoin. You can break it down. You can spend a little bit, buy half a Bitcoin, buy 1/10 of a Bitcoin. Okay. And then just put that away. But if it went up from 5,000 to 500,000 or to $1 million, what sort of return would you get on $1,000? Okay, so let's keep that in mind as we go through. All right, so just a couple of people, don't take my word for it. Let's hear what a few important people from around the world have said. So obviously Richard Branson here, I think it is working. There will be other currencies like Bitcoin that may be even better. And I can tell you there are certainly plenty of other currencies out there at the moment, okay? Bill Gates, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it being the financial transactions of the world, can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And of course, for large transaction currency, it can get pretty inconvenient. And over on the bottom right there, we've got Ben Bernanke, who used to be the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Virtual currencies may hold long-term promise, particularly if the innovations promote a faster, more secure, and more efficient payment system. Now, the innovations that he's talking about is blockchain technology, and we're going to have a bit of a chat about that as well. Alrighty, so let's just have a quick look at the value of cryptocurrency. So as I said, since its rise in 2009 to now, we have certainly seen it grow exponentially. But I just want to focus in just on the last 12 months alone. Okay, so 12 months ago today, a Bitcoin, BTC is the designator for a Bitcoin, was just $5,600. Now, when I was putting these slides together, literally about 4 days ago, Bitcoin was actually worth $6,000. And it's dropped over the last week to $5,500. So it does fluctuate quite a lot, and that's what scares a lot of people off. But if you knew a year ago that this would 10x within 12 months, you'd be kicking yourself for not jumping in at $560, even if the next day it went down to $200. Okay, then fluctuated up to $800 and then went back down to $300. If you sort of knew that over time Bitcoin was going to continually go up, you would certainly want to jump in today rather than having to wait in a year's time. I'm going to predict right now. So today is the 19th of August. It's actually one day after my birthday. So it's the 19th of August. And I'm going to say that this time like next year, on my birthday next year, I believe Bitcoin to be, okay, over $10,000 per coin. Okay, at least $10,000 per coin. So there's a prediction for you. Now, there's plenty of experts out there that believe that this is going to take off. Why is it going to take off? Well, there's two reasons. It's the underlying technology. But more importantly, people are starting to take notice. People are starting to hear about it. People are starting to get interested in it, and that's creating demand. And as people can start to see that the potential to make money in the cryptocurrency market, that's fueling the market underneath it. Okay, so we're starting to see plenty of other currencies, starting to rise, in quadruple figure returns. All right, and as you can see, Bitcoin itself has basically 10x itself. It's done 1,000 times return. 1,000% return in the last 12 months. Now, the other thing that's driving the growth is more and more people are starting to receive it and use it as a form of money exchange. Okay, you can see on the left there a picture of an ATM. So you can actually use an ATM now and exchange cryptocurrency for cash utilizing a crypto card. And we're also seeing a number of players in the marketplace also accepting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in as payment for goods and services. Now, here in Australia, we're a little bit behind in most of the world due to our isolation. So for some of us, we might be thinking, man, I've never even heard of Bitcoin. Like, where did it come from? Well, I can tell you now, speaking to a few friends over in Europe and over in the US, Bitcoin is big news. In Europe and the US, this is pretty well known. There's a lot more places are now taking cryptocurrency as part of their transaction. And the main reason is it bypasses the banks. Okay, remember I used a couple of keywords before. Decentralized, okay? And because it's decentralized, we don't have to go back to the banks continuously to verify the amount of money that we are holding in actual cash on our credit card. The peer-to-peer distributed network validates and verifies the amount of money that we have, okay, within seconds. So we don't get charged additional fees from the bank. All right, and that's one of the reasons why so many people are moving towards the cryptocurrency, because it's taking out those dirty banks that just keep taking fees and charges and making their own profit for their shareholders. All right, and that's such a big game changer in the marketplace. Okay, so I've said a few times this about the blockchain technology. So historically, we've always had a centralized ledger. We keep a record of what we do. That ledger is then held generally within a bank or a third party that's a trusted third party, and will you say like a solicitor or the government keeps records of property, okay, where banks keep obviously records of financial transactions. So when you and I transact, we need to verify that what I'm paying for I have, okay, and so that goes off to a third party verification, the bank. They verify that I have the money and they advise you, yes, Dean's got the money to be able to pay you, and then you give me the goods and service. And the bank, okay, or the government or our solicitors or our third-party external providers charge us a fee or a commission to do that. Imagine a society where you knew that if I said to you that I've got this amount of money and it was backed up by a peer-to-peer global network of people that says, yep, that's the amount of money that Dean's got, instantly, okay, we could transact so much quicker and without the fees, okay? And that's some of the things that blockchain technology is doing. So a blockchain, think of it as in terms of pieces of key information, your name, my amount, the amount that you're going to receive, the amount that I'm going to give, the date, the time, okay? That all gets transacted into a cube of data, a block of data. That then gets added into the system, the peer-to-peer network that record it. Okay, and then once that gets verified by the peer-to-peer network that transaction is possible and it's occurred, okay, it then gets locked into a chain. It becomes part of the history of the currency, okay, and then no one can go back and change that. So I can't come in and then suddenly say a few days later, oh, no, that didn't happen, or I only paid this amount, because we've all agreed between you and I through our digital signature that it's occurred. So some of these things are just changing really, really quickly, and I've listed a few industries that are currently being looked at to be disrupted through this type of technology. okay? Medical histories. Imagine if you could take your medical documents that's encrypted, and no matter where you went in the world, it could be locked and you could take it with you. And then when you saw a doctor, he could unlock it by verifying the fact that he's certified, verified doctor. He would have a certain key to be able to do that. And you could unlock it to say, I'm happy for this person to look at my medical file. Then whatever information that, during the visit, okay, can then be recorded and then locked back into that record, and then you take it with you. Okay, and there's no need to be going back to your previous doctor or your home doctor or back to your country, especially if you're traveling, to verify all that sort of history, because people know that information's true and accurate because it's been digitally locked and encrypted. Contracting is currently now being changed within the blockchain technology, and there's a few other examples there. I would highly recommend that you Google blockchain technology and just start checking out some of the stuff in there. It'll blow your mind where our industry is going. But look, we're not here to chat about why Bitcoin is so cool. We're here to learn about how can we make money out of it, right? That's what we're here for. That's why I'm here, the Passive Income Coach, to show you different ways that we can make money out of it. So with Bitcoin, there's 4 ways that you can make money, and I'm only going to share with you the one that I think is the best, right, which is the last one. So you can make money out of mining. Now, what mining Bitcoin is, we use the term mining because we think in terms of the miners that are getting gold and silver out of the ground, okay? So that's where the terms come from, okay? Gold and silver have a limited supply around the world, and to increase the supply, we've got to go and mine it. We mine it out of the ground. So that's where the terminologies come from. In the digital industry, we mine it through solving computer equations. Now, I don't want to get into a lengthy discussion about that. Again, Google how do you mine cryptocurrency, and you can go and watch a whole heap of videos on the mining process and the digital encryption solving algorithm solutions that mining produce. What I want you to understand at this stage is that mining is one way that you can make Bitcoin. At the moment, about every 10 minutes, more Bitcoin is mined, okay, at the value of about 12.5 Bitcoin. Now, as I said, it's $5,500 per Bitcoin. So that's about $60,000 to $65,000 every 10 minutes of Bitcoin being released into the marketplace. And this is why people mine it. But you need specialized computer equipment to be able to do it. You need to generate a lot of transactional history and a lot of data, and a lot of algorithms need to be solved. If you want to get into it, go and Google it. You could trade Bitcoin, just like a foreign currency exchange. If you think the Australian dollar is going to go up against the US, you can go and buy more Australian dollars, or you can sell US dollars and buy them back. We can trade Bitcoin exactly the same way. If you think Bitcoin's going to go up, you can buy it against the Australian dollar, and then when it does go up, you could sell it. Okay, so there is a trading opportunity available to you. If you're more of a long-term, buy and hold type investor, well, you can certainly just go and buy a Bitcoin today. Go and spend $5,500, put it into a digital safe, sit on it for the next 5 years. And if my prediction comes true that we're going to be at, say $100,000 or $500,000 per Bitcoin, you just turned your $5,000 into $500,000. Now, I'm pretty sure that's a little bit better than what the bank's going to give you. No matter how much you compound your bank's interest return, you are definitely not going to get that sort of money. But think about that for a second. A $5,000 investment. Imagine if you put 5 Bitcoin, 25 grand in, and I'm not suggesting that you do. I'm just trying to get you to think outside the square a little bit. You put 5 Bitcoin in, and that 5 Bitcoin goes to 100 grand a pop, or 200 grand a pop. Could you pay your house off in a couple of years with Bitcoin? Just saying. You certainly can. Provided it gets there, you could certainly pay your house off. You could pay some debt off, okay? My strategy, my goal is to get as much Bitcoin as I can before this thing explodes, okay? So what I found is I want to lend my Bitcoin. Some of the best institutions in the world that make money, they're called banks, all right? We all know that banks are always there charging us fees, charging us interest, but I just want you to think in terms of a loan. Okay, so I'm lending my Bitcoin to a company, they're using it, and they're paying me back in Bitcoin every day with a profit. I'm going to share that with you very, very shortly. But before I do that, let's have a little bit of chat about USI Tech itself. So USI Tech has got four founding members that put the company together. They're actually 8 years in the industry. All right. They're a foreign currency trading company. They used to work with, or still do, sorry, I shouldn't say used to. They work with high-end VIP clients, okay, in automated software for the foreign currency market. okay? And they've done very, very well out of that industry. What I loved about USI Tech is they're not an industry that stood up as a result of Bitcoin. They've been around before Bitcoin and have now added their Bitcoin lending program as an additional product for people that can't afford to get in onto their foreign currency trading software plan. Okay, so they've really opened it up for everyday investors to give Bitcoin a bit of a shot, because as I said, mining Bitcoin is expensive, buying the equipment and getting stood up and getting started. So USI Tech have gone into the mining industry, they're buying mining pools and they're buying all the equipment, and you can basically contribute Bitcoin into their mining pool, all right, which allows them to have a global expansion into the mining side, and then we get received back each and every day a small percentage to accumulate over time. So let's just use a real world example in cash so we can get our head around that first, and then we're going to move it into Bitcoin. So this is a straightforward lend, okay? I'm going to lend you $1,000 over 12 months, and you're going to repay that at $100 per month. That's a 20% return on investment. I give you $1,000, and in 12 months' time, I'll have $1,200, 12 months at $100 each, okay? It's a 20% return. Now, let's say at the end of month one, you pay your $100, and then I offer it back to you and say, hey, look, I know you're doing really well. Would you like another $100 to put towards your expansion, your business, your growth? And I'll do it on the same terms. So I'll give you the $100 back, in addition to the $1,000 I've already given you. Give you the $100 back, and now we'll just do it at $10 per month on the same 20% return over 12 months. Okay, and you go, yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. So you do. So at the end of month two, you're going to give me $1,000 for the first one, and then you're going to give me another $10. So I've actually got $110. Okay, so I then come back to you at the end of month two and say, right, would you like to put this back into your business growth? And you say, yeah, absolutely. That'd be really great. I can put this to great use. The reason you would do that is because you know you're making more money than what you're giving back. You know that with $100, okay, that if you could make, let's say $40 a month, and you've only got to give me $10 a month, then of course you do it. You're making 3 times as much as you're giving me back. So every dollar that I can give you, you can make 3 times as much as you're giving me back. Right? You're trying to take up as much money as you can. So at the end of month 3, you've paid me $1,000, you've paid me 10, and now you've paid me 11. Okay, and we just continue to grow that. All right, that's the power of compounding. And all we do is exactly the same thing in the Bitcoin market. So more specifically, what we do is we start with a Bitcoin package, okay? So a Bitcoin package is €50. That's the minimum amount that you can start with. It's about $80, $75, $80 Australian to start with, okay? Now, you will receive back 1% of your investment, okay? So if you started with €50 every day, you'd receive back about 50 cents of euro. I don't know if 50 cents of euro, if that's the right terminology. Sorry to my European friends out there. But you would receive back, half a euro, 0.5 of a euro, all right, every day. So after 100 days, you would actually have back your €50. But we do our agreement for 140 days. So the last 40 days is actually profit, and you'll actually receive a total of 140% of your investment. Now, obviously, if you always started with just €50 and it takes 100 days to get the €50, at the 100-day mark, you'd then have enough to buy another packet, okay? So you can start with a little bit more. Personally, I started with 9. I was aiming for 10. I didn't quite allow enough in the exchange, but if I started with 10 packets, after 10 days, because I'm getting back €5 a day, if I start with €500 at 1%, that's €5 a day I'm getting back. So after 10 days, I've got €50 and I can buy another investment packet. Okay, and that's all I'm doing. I've started off with a little bit, and then each day as I have enough coming back, I lend it out again on another 140-day return. All right. So let's combine the two examples together. So if you purchase 12 Bitcoin packages, that's about $1,000 Australian. You run that for 140 working days, even if you didn't auto invest. If you just simply wanted to take your money off the table, didn't do any of the reinvesting, in 140 days, your agreement would be finished and you would have $1,400 in your hand. Okay, so it's a 40% return in 140 days, and that's regardless of the capital growth. Okay, so $5,500 today, if it happened to be $6,000 in 140 days time, not only would you have the $1,400 in equivalent in Bitcoin, but the underlying growth value would also add to that as well for you. Okay, so a couple of things. Just going to sum it up here. You get a daily payment of your return of capital every day. You get approximately 1%. It does vary slightly. I've had days where it's slightly below 1%. I've had days where it's slightly above 1%. We're going to see some of those. Okay, you can withdraw your money every day. All right, you have to have a minimum of €10 in your holding account, but you can withdraw Bitcoin out of your Bitcoin packages each and every day should you wish to. Your commissions and returns can be immediately used to purchase new packages. So this is our compounding effect. As soon as you have enough, get it back into the system and start earning interest on it. Okay, by doing that, this will result in compounding on top of your investment strategy. Okay, and Einstein said that compounding is the 8th wonder of the world, and now we have a solution where we can actually compound our Bitcoin packages and grow it even faster. So look, here are actually my personal returns. This is what I've done. This isn't someone's made up. This isn't from the company. This is actually my personal returns. So you can see here that I started on the 29th of June, 2017. I bought 9 packets. I actually wanted 10. I didn't quite allow enough for some exchange and some fees coming through. So I spent 850 Australian dollars. I bought, whoa, I shouldn't have done that. Can't click on it. Previous. Come on, let's go back. Thank you. So I bought 0.18754 of a Bitcoin. So it's less than a Bitcoin, okay, $850. It's now been running for 43 days as of the time of this presentation, the 19th of August. All right, that's working days, 43 working days. And I've received so far 40% of my investment back. So I'm slightly less than 1% per day. I'm sitting at 0.93% per day on average. Some days have been higher, some days have been lower. And you can see each time I've had enough to buy another packet, which was 9 days later, I bought another one out of my commission returns. Bought another one, it's trending. And I'm not going to read all these lines out, we'll be here forever. Now, what I've actually decided to do is after I started to receive my commissions back, after about 3 weeks, I said, you know what, I've got to get more money into this. So I actually started every 10 days now, I just simply put in another $100 cash. All right, every time I get paid, I just chuck in $100 and I buy another packet with it. So I'm now putting in additional one in addition to the compounding that I'm getting. So you can start to see that the gaps here actually, they get smaller and smaller as I'm starting to get more and more. And in fact, I actually bought one this morning before this video, so it hasn't actually even started running yet. All right. You can see some of these later ones. The one that I purchased on the 6th of August, that's averaging just slightly over 1% per day. And these are about 1% per day each and every day. So just summarizing my results. Okay, so I started with 9 packets. I've had enough commissions to buy an additional 9, and I've added in an additional $300 to buy an additional 3 over time. And I'll continue to put money in every 10 days. I've been running for a total of 43 days now. Now the 46% returns, that's actually compounded. Okay, so up here, I've put in $1,150. That was 0.24 of a Bitcoin equivalent. I've received back, okay, that amount there, 0.112. All right, and so far I've received just under 46% back on the amount that I put in. Okay, because obviously the commissions are now compounding on themselves. In terms of a financial situation, all right, so I actually have put in $1,150 of my own personal cash. I've been able to put into the system through the returns and the commissioning structure. I now actually have under management nearly half a Bitcoin. So I started with 0.1 of a Bitcoin, 0.24 of a Bitcoin that I've put in, and I'm now at 0.42, nearly half a Bitcoin. And at today's value, $5,500, I'm actually holding $2,338 worth of Bitcoin. So I've actually doubled my money in about 8 weeks. Okay, and I expect that trend to continue. So what I've shown here is the compounding effect. So as I said, we've got to wait 140 days for the cycle to go through, because that's the agreement. Once the money's into the agreement, you can't just suddenly decide you want to take it out. You have to wait for the 140 days to come in. So in this scenario, I'm assuming that we are reinvesting every chance we get, we're going to reinvest it. And I just wanted to show you how quickly this can compound up for you. So on day one, okay, we buy our €500, that's worth 10 packets, we buy 10 packets, okay? And at the end of day one, we get $5 in commission, that's 1%. So on day two, we still got the same thing, and we get another $5 in euro, we're now $10 holding. We just do the same thing every day, we're getting €5 back, okay, which is 1% of our start. And then eventually we actually hit 45. The next day we hit 50. Well, as soon as I hit 50, I buy another packet. Okay, that's just the compounding. So if I did that between days 10 and day 140, just every time I hit 50 euro, I buy another packet. After 140 days, I would have 38 packets available. And I'm earning 19 euro per day on 38 packets. Now, on day 141, something interesting happens. All right, remember, we bought on day 1 the 10 packets, but it's for a 140-day agreement. So on a day 141, that agreement now terminates. It's finished. It's complete. We've got all our money back. So I no longer earn any commission on it. Okay, so on day 141, we start the morning with 38 packets. I actually have enough to buy another packet, but then I lose the 10 packets. I don't lose them. They're just finalized. I no longer receive commissions from them, so I actually drop down to 29 packets. But I'm still doing the same thing. I've got 19 euro for the day. The next day I've got, another 19 euro. So pretty quickly I'll get to 50 and I start buying more. Okay, so that's the process we go through. Every time we hit 50 euro, we buy more. If I hit 100 euro, we buy 2. Okay, and then every 140 days later, one of the packets or however many we bought expires and we no longer earn commission on it. So I just want you to see that I've taken all that into consideration. So after 1 year, which is approximately 260 working days, okay, we'd have 58 packets, all right? And we're earning about 30 euro per day in commission. After 2 cycles, which is 280 days, we're at 63 packets. Another 140 days later, just keep doing the same strategy. We're at 128 packets. Now, my goal is 500 packets. The reason 500 packets is because you can see here I'd achieved my goal of 500 packets. Where's my mouse? There he is. 500 packets, right, on day 688. Now, what I'm receiving is 250 euro per day. Now, 250 euro per day, I can split that and say, you know what? I no longer want to grow my account. I want to hold it about the same. I want to maintain. As investment packages expire, I want to replace them. All right. And so about half your income will be needed to replace the expiring packets to put new ones into the system so that I can maintain about 500 packets in total. So what do I do with the other 125 euro? I take it off the table and I start paying myself every day 125 euro per day. That's about 150 to $175 Australian per day. Let's call that $600 a week. That's $600 a week that you can now put towards your income. That's $30,000 a year. What sort of impact would that have on your life? Having $30,000 a year come in at $600 a week towards your bills, towards your car repayment, or even towards your mortgage, or maybe even just towards a holiday per year. And how did you achieve that? You started with $1,000 and let it run for 688 days and did nothing else. Didn't show anybody, didn't talk to anybody, didn't build a team. You just let it run and got repaid, just like a bank, in principal and interest payments until you hit that level. And you don't have to stop at that level. You can keep going. Build 1,000 packets, build 2,000 packets. It doesn't matter. My first goal was just simply to hit 500 packets. And that's what I've done my presentation based around. So I've had some clients that that asked the question, what happens if I start with more? So if you actually start, rather than with $1,000, if you started with $5,000, okay, rather than taking 688 days, you would actually achieve 500 packets in 326 days, okay, which is the equivalent of about 7 Bitcoin at today's prices, okay. If you started with $10,000, you'd be buying 2 Bitcoin. You'd hit 500 packets in 178 days, right? It's a little over the 140-day cycle. Okay, 178 days, let's say 180 days. Okay, that's just over 6 months. That's simply phenomenal. Okay, and you can then start drawing that income. Now, if we actually started with 4 Bitcoin, which is about $20,000 Australian, okay, you actually hit the first 500 packets within like 60 days. Okay. But remember that at 140 days, you lose a big chunk. They expire. So I always take a calculation to make sure that we go through a full 140-day cycle. So if you started with 20 grand, after the full 140-day cycle, you'd actually have 800 Bitcoin, which was, I think, was the equivalent around about 800 euro per day, and which is the equivalent of 11.5 Bitcoin. Now, remember, that's based on $5,500 today. And regardless of the price, you still earn your packages. Okay. But imagine if you now had 11.5 Bitcoin and the value of Bitcoin went to $50,000, went to $100,000. Okay. At $100,000, you'd be sitting on 1.1 million with a $20,000 startup capital. Okay. This is the power of what the cryptocurrency growth phase has for you. So here's an example of what your back office looks like. When you buy into USI, you can open an account for free. It costs nothing to open an account and have a look and check out what the platform looks like, how easy it is to buy your Bitcoin, how easy it is to sell your Bitcoin and transfer it back into your account. All right, it costs nothing to be able to do that, but this is what the screen looks like. This top area here is actually for the foreign currency. If you choose to be involved in the USI foreign currency program, which is an automated software package that generates between 3 and 8% per month automated, you can do that. It does cost money to do that, but you do have that because that's their primary product. If you just want to play in the Bitcoin market, which is what I'm doing at the moment, you could just simply open up your Bitcoin account, okay, and you would just simply pay here. And in this scenario, right, there's one Bitcoin has been purchased, one packet at €50, and that's the holding account. So I'm currently holding on 0.0086 of a Bitcoin. Okay, this isn't my account. This is from somebody that took the snapshot back in March 2017. All right, it's very easy to buy. We simply come over to the shop, right, which is in the back office. We click shop. It gives you a code, right? And you take that code and you simply take it to your holding account where you hold your Bitcoin and say, please pay my Bitcoin to this particular account. And within around about 2 hours, you would have your package underway and it would be settled and you would be earning commission and you would get a commission payment the very next day. You don't need to buy a lot. You don't need to, find people. You don't need to do anything. As soon as you buy your first package, the next day you get paid 1% of your starting capital. So this is what the package screens look like. So you can actually see that every package is tracked and you can see your history as you go through. So back here, this particular example was taken on the 1st of March 2017. It got approved. That was the amount of Bitcoin it cost to get started. It was running for 20 days and they'd received back 19.91% of their investment, right, when they took the photo. Obviously, the next day it'll be at 21 days. But you can see here that every day you can see how much each was returned. Okay, so on that, it actually works from the bottom up. So in the last couple of days, when they took this snapshot, they were receiving 0.87%, 1.23%, 1.01%, 0.87%. Okay, so it does fluctuate, but on average, as you can see here, it does average out to about 1% per day. And you saw my personal results currently sitting at around about 0.93, 0.94% after the last 40 days. And one of the biggest reasons for that particular drop is Bitcoin actually forked during my time, and on the day of the fork, nobody got paid commission for that particular day. So that's had a significant impact, obviously, in my returns, because if we take that one day out, I would have received back 40% on 42 days rather than 43 days, for example. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to miss out on my return. It just simply means I'll now have to take an extra day before I receive my 140% return, because it's not days, it's total return that you get. You get 140% of your money back. All right, so couple of incentives the company has. If you, over time, so I'm at the massive amount of 21 packages, okay, got a long way to go, but if I accumulate a total of 2,000 packages, USI Tech, as a thank you, will now pay an additional €800 per month, so I can put that towards a car. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, so I don't have to do anything to buy my next car. I just keep putting my money in and continue to invest it, and I'll have the opportunity to get paid to have my own vehicle. If you like to get a little bit more of a sports vehicle, you can see there that if you do continue to invest with the company up to 5,000 packages, all right, you will get a bonus, €1,600 per month to put towards, a car. You don't have to go for that. For me, as I said, my first goal is just get to 500 packets because that will pay a significant amount towards a bit of financial freedom for me, and I certainly think of financial freedom for a lot of people. At the moment, they also have a holiday package. This is actually one that has now closed, but I just wanted to show you that the company is all about incentivizing people to, put a little bit of money away. And, as you grow your packages, you can actually win some trips and some vehicles and all that sort of stuff as well. So that's pretty cool. All righty. So I'm just going to finish up here and just ask you, where do you want to be in 2018? Where were you 5 years ago? Are you still doing the same thing 5 years ago that you're doing today? I know I was trying to get ends to meet, trying to make different things happen, trying investment strategies, building teams. I still, as I said right at the start of the presentation, I still love network marketing. I have my own, direct selling business. I love it. I love the people in it, and I still promote it, and I still do that. But this is on the side. I treat this more of as an investment rather than a business, where I just put a little bit of money away every fortnight, and my returns in Bitcoin are now growing. As I said, my goal by the end of the year is to have 5 Bitcoin and just have that grow, because I know if that 5 Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does explode and go to $100,000, that's my house paid off. Okay, I can pay that off in Bitcoin and we're done. All right, so the benefits of the packages start with as little as €50. They've got 8 years proven track record in their systems, okay? Now, you will start to see other companies out there offering more than 1%. I guarantee it. I've seen them, okay? I know you can get 3% returns per day, all right? I know there's companies out there offering 1.5% returns per day, 2% returns per day. But most of these companies have stood up as a result of Bitcoin. Okay, they've been around for less than a year. Some of these have been around for just months. Okay, they stood up. And what they're trying to do is get people to invest in them so they can buy more mining equipment. Very, very, very high risk. The reason why I'm willing to earn a little bit less in the commissions that are available is because the company is proven and it has a proven track record, and they're a foreign currency company that have added Bitcoin as an additional product. Very, very important, okay? You do not need any experience in trading. You do not need any experience in mining. You do not need any experience in how to set all this up. You simply create an account, you put some money in it, and then auto set, let it forget. And inside my membership group, I've got all the videos on how to set up your accounts, how to transfer money, how to make BPay payments and pay your bills off with Bitcoin if you want to. Not that I'd recommend it, but you can if you will. How does the Australian Taxation Office treat Bitcoin and how is that treated? Right, I cover all of that in our membership group, where we share ideas and we share and help people get their money in and get this thing started. Just to finish off, if you have an interest in the direct selling industry and you want to share this with people, because let me tell you, if you're making money automatically, wouldn't you want to share it with other people and get them to do it as well? We do have a very simple compensation plan, and that is for you to take some time to share this with some other people. You will earn 10% of whatever they start with. If they start with €50 and buy 1 packet, you'll earn €5 towards your commission that you can then put towards buying further packets. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's a 10% what we call front level, and then if you help them show this as well, you'll earn an additional 3%. That's it, 10% and 3%. Now, if you decide that you want to get involved in their foreign currency side, I just raise this here so you can be aware of it, that if you do want to get involved in the foreign currency side of the business, you don't have to, okay, but you can actually open up to 12 levels of compensation. But look, I'll probably do a separate video on that. I will eventually get involved in their foreign currency software. Anything that can produce between 3 and 8% automated without me thinking about it is a great idea. So I just highlighted that there is a foreign currency opportunity there for you as well. So look, that's it for the presentation. Get back to me with any questions you got, any information you need. Inside the group, there's a pinned post. If you're not a member of the group, check it out. It's called Passive Income Coach Group. All right, it's got a US dollar as the picture. More than welcome to join the group. Come in and join us. See what other people are doing. I've got a whole heap of videos there on how we get started, how to treat things from, as I said, from a taxation point of view, how you can transfer your money one way and transfer your money back. For me, my goal is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can. Okay, if you knew gold was going to go to $50,000 an ounce in the next 5 years, wouldn't you try and start accumulating gold as quickly as you can? Just because you can't get your head around this cryptocurrency that you can't put your hands on doesn't mean that it's not real. Doesn't mean that you can't make money out of it. Start small, test it. If you love it, put a little bit more in, and watch your returns grow. Look, that's it for me. Thank you very much. I'm going to cease the presentation there. And I hope that has been of benefit to you. I certainly enjoyed bringing this to you. If you've got any questions, get them in there. I've got plenty of people that are slowly starting to make some money out of this. I'm simply loving it. Is there risk? Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's risk in everything that we do. I don't think that blockchain and Bitcoin is the risk. The company's the potential risk. They could do something wrong. You could lose all your money. So don't put your life savings into it. Start off small and let that grow. If you want to put in a fairly decent chunk, I can actually show you how you can get your money off the table within 6 months, okay, and then just let your profits run. All right, but there's certainly an opportunity here now for everybody to start earning a passive income within 24 hours of getting started. I hope you enjoyed that. I look forward to working with you. Take care, and I'll chat to you soon. Thank you.